All righty. I think game of the week, my bet of the week. This should be a fun one.
Yeah.
Bills versus Chiefs. The line has moved to 1.5. Over under 53.5. How do we make this game? Because I think this is going to be a good one.
I think so too. And it's just they're meeting in the divisional round. I mean, they might be the two best teams in the NFL. I don't know.
Yeah, right now, I would say.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Obviously, the teams met before. Buffalo really kicked the shit out of them. There's something about, obviously we see it on the field. He's incredible. But just the way he seems to carry himself. There's something about Josh Allen that's kind of changed. Remember, like might have been 2 or 3. I can't remember. 2 or 3 years ago in the playoffs when he just fucking lateraled the ball with like a minute 10 seconds left in the fourth. What the hell is going on? Like, and it just like seemed like the moment was way too big for him. And I don't know what happened, but that seems to have just gone away. Like nothing seems to be too big for him, and he just kind of has this way that he carries himself that just, I don't know. I just like feel like I can't bet against him right now. So I think I'm going to stick with the Bills. And obviously, you know, when you got 1.5, like let's go money line. I'm going to take them to win. It would be awesome if we get a Bills Bengals AFC Championship. That would be that would be the best thing that's happened in football in decades. Like that would be the coolest thing ever. So I'm hoping that happens. We'll see. I know the Chiefs, they're playing well too, but they've played the Steelers. Come on. I mean, come on. The Bills, they beat down the Patriots. They beat down a Bill Belichick team. I'm just going to go with the Bills. They're rolling right now.
Yeah, I think for our fans, there's one thing to be somewhat cautious of, but I think still plays well in this. The Bills are going to come down a little bit from last week. But I don't think it's going to be much because they completed what I believe is the NFL's first ever perfect offensive game where they had every single drive ended in a touchdown. They never punted the ball. They never had an interception, never had a fumble, never went for a field goal, all touchdowns. Josh Allen threw for more touchdowns than he threw for incompletions. So, which is mind-blowing. I still can't believe the game I watched. Like, I honestly couldn't believe that I watched a team every time they touched the ball score a touchdown. It was insanity.
It was. That game was just like, oh, they scored again.
Yeah.
They scored again. I mean, New England couldn't do a thing. I mean, it was just unbelievable. The Bills fans were just like, their heads were like blowing off their bodies. They couldn't believe it. Those fans were just like, oh my God.
The Ryan Fitzpatrick pictures from the crowd with his shirt off like a maniac was hilarious.
So funny.
So we're not going to get that, but we still should get some offensive fireworks here because it's funny. These two teams' defenses play the type of defense that the other team wants to see from an offensive standpoint. Like the Bills want to see you be super aggressive and try to man up on you because Josh Allen is going to light you up or he's going to become a designated runner and they're going to put up some points there. Knox is going to go off. I think he's going to have probably a pretty big game here. I mean, the big thing is Brian Daboll. That is your head coach, head candidate right there. Like what you're talking about is the work Brian Daboll did with Josh Allen and the two of them like bettering each other and the play calling. Brian Daboll's going back to his old ways and is really lighting up the league. Like if you're an organization looking for a coach, like he's got to be up there with the Eric Bieniemys of the world as like one of the leading candidates because the work he's done with Josh Allen is incredible.
Have you ever watched Josh Allen in college?
Yes,
he was bad. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. I mean,
that was the knock, his accuracy. That the whole thing, you can't fix accuracy is what people kept saying. And then he met Brian Daboll.
He somehow his was fixed. I mean, he had an unbelievable arm, but he couldn't hit anything.
Ton of raw talent, which we now have seen. I mean, once again, we're not the ones championing this because there are other people out there saying this, but like, if you want to see Josh Allen perform at his greatest, build a dome for your next stadium and see what this man will do there.
Yeah.
My God.
Exactly.
But yeah, so they play super aggressive. And then the other side, the Bills built their defense to try to beat the Chiefs. They have 5 DBs out there like all times. The only problem is they play soft zone coverage most of the time, and they don't change from that. And Patrick Mahomes is like, okay, I'll take that. I have Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill that if you get on an under route, he's going to make some plays in the open space. And we're going to get some guys out of the backfield. And the Andy Reid system does a very good job with that. The thing that gives the Bills, I think, hope is a recipe that the Bucs employed last year. The Bills do a phenomenal job at getting pressure. They get pressure at the highest rate currently in the NFL, and they don't have to do it blitzing. So they blitz at one of the lowest rates in the NFL, and they get pressure at one of the highest. So that is a pretty good mixture. Like they're blitzing at about 26%, but they're getting pressure at 30.8%, which is the highest right now in the NFL. So they're getting home with natural pressure, which is a problem with Patrick Mahomes if you can drop everybody back and speed him up, because he likes to pull out of the back end of the pocket. As long as you roll your defensive lineman that way, it can cause some issues. So I think if they're smart, if the Bills are smart, you implore a very similar type of defensive scheme that the Bucs did last year in the Super Bowl. But there's still opportunities for a lot of points. And if we're being realistic about this, the Bills defense has only really played 2 quarterbacks, and that was Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Outside of that, they haven't played a lick of anything. Like the quarterbacks they've had to face this year have not been very good. And so they've had the second easiest schedule of offenses in the league right now. Why I'm all saying this is my bet of the week is the over. I love 53.5. The weather's going to be fine. It's like 40 degrees. There's like very low winds are like 10 miles per hour. I think low chance of any kind of rain weather. They would have hit that over the first game if that was the over. And if people forget, it was a bad rain game. They had a delay in that game. They came out stiff and then it went off. So I love the over. I know 53.5 is a little high. I'd go almost all the way to 55.5 is where I'd probably maybe cut that off. But I love the over at 53.5 in this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think there's a lot of fireworks in this game. It's just an awesome game.
It's going to be absolutely awesome. And I don't think a ton of defense. I don't know if I have a side yet. I kind of want to see what this number does, like if it moves at all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of hold off on a side. I might tweet that out in one of my nice little videos I've been doing, but the over 53.5 is my play of the week for me.
I like it.
All righty. Nice. I think we did a solid job just kind of blowing through those games in 30 minutes here. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nothing major. Like I said, great games. There's not like one game where I'm like, this game kind of sucks. So I'm pretty happy.
They should all be very good. I mean, we're getting to the good type of football, which is nice. It's not, it's all action packed. And we get it on Saturday and Sunday. It sets up beautifully. Yeah. Well, soak it in while we still have it, because we only got 3 more of these NFL pods before it's done for the year.
I mean, we have like 7 more total games. I know it's depressing to bring up, but
dude, it's so depressing.
Sucks.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
I know, dude. So true. Oh,
like
we're ending the show on a real sad note.
Whatever, we're going to get great football. It's going to be good. Enjoy it. Soak it up. Sit in your couches. Go to a bar, wherever you enjoy watching football. I went to a bar for the Bengals game. I mean, I felt like I don't normally like to go watch. I like to watch games at my house because I'm a fucking lunatic during some of these betting, and I don't need to be in a public space. But we did go to a bar in Cincinnati because we had to. Bengals hadn't won in 30 years. This playoff game. Electric. I mean, I bet. Was the best. So, watch the game where you want to, but these are going to be some electric games, to say the least.
For sure.
All righty. That'll do it for us. As always, peace.